That bidding war for a week and a half.
Wow.
A week and a half of every label in the game trying to give me them M's. And I was just like, I couldn't get no sleep.
Hell no.
Because I'm just thinking about it all night. Okay, Republic talking about.
Yeah, that's a good way to go.
Okay, but Columbia talking about. Okay, but Capital and Atlantic talking about.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gonna talk.
That's real, man. So, how did you land your deal with Columbia? Like, how did that go? How did that whole thing happen?
TikTok.
Really?
Motherfucking TikTok, man.
You need to get on that TikTok.
Me and Kirko, we had this conversation a couple years ago. We was like, man, all this shit wasn't around when we had our first explosion. Like when we came out in 2010, MySpace was dying and Facebook was Twitter was in its baby stages, you know what I'm saying? But we didn't have, like, I think the first song that blew up on social media in that era was Flick of the Wrist on Vine. Vine turned up Flick of the Wrist, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, we didn't have all that, you know what I'm saying? But I had been me for 10 years already. But when That Didn't Leave came out and, you know, that girl, her name Bougie Tay on TikTok. Let me shout her out.
Bougie Tay.
Bougie, she probably grown now. Shit, you know what I'm saying? But she made it when she was like 15 years old when she did the video that didn't leave, that went viral. But yeah, man, when it started blowing up, going crazy, and all the labels, to me, that meant more to me than all the money I have now. That bidding war for a week and a half.
Wow.
A week and a half of every label in the game trying to give me them M's. And I was just like, I couldn't get no sleep.
Hell no.
Because I'm just thinking about it all night. Okay, Republic talking about.
Yeah, that's a good way to go.
Okay, but Columbia talking about. Okay, but Capital and Atlantic talking about. You know what I'm saying? Interscope talk, you know what I'm saying? Like all of them was, because when it finally popped off, all the labels had already knew who I was because of my track record over the years. Like, I've been on the radio in all these major markets for the last 10 years, so they like his track record. If we sign him, he won't fall off. He don't do drugs.
That's real.
He can make hits for everybody in the building. Nigga make beats, he write, he do all that, you know. So, you know, I tell artists all the time, man, whatever a label is offering you, it's some fucked up shit. Tell them other niggas that shit. Be like, look, man, I really appreciate your offer, but they trying to give me this. What you trying to do?
Yeah, that's business.
You know what I'm saying? And I did that because who was it? It was Warner Brothers. Columbia had offered me a number, and then Warner Brothers came with a whole bigger number. And I was like, all right, Batman. Warner Brothers, man, Batman, they over there trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shit. So I told Columbia, because I liked our conversation with Columbia. The A&R at Columbia, he was from Dallas. And he lived in New York the last 10 years. He said, bro, I want you at Columbia. His name KC, still fuck with him. He said, bro, I want you over here at Columbia. He said, because when I was in high school, we was jigging and everything in high school to your music. 10 years later, you are still that nigga.
Wow, that's dope. That's dope.
I want you. Columbia was the only label asking me, all right, so what's the next song? What's the next single you plan to drop? What's the album? And to me, it just seemed like a better choice. So I went with them, and the bag was bigger over there.
Wow.
So yeah, and we still rocking. New music coming out. Well, I wait on this verse right now. I can't really speak on it, but it's definitely coming.
It's coming.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gonna talk.